Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the good news from your nation.
That's right. May 17th, 2024, Friday. That's right. And we are currently getting some pretty good rain. It's slowing down, though, so maybe it's not too loud for everybody. But
The sound of rain's pretty, though.
Yeah, it's pretty relaxing. And so, yeah, we kind of held back a few minutes to see if it would slack up, and it did, so it wouldn't be so loud in this camper. But we're just bringing you the big daily devotions in the camper. Rain, shine, or whatever in between, right? And we are now officially been through Psalms quite a bit in these daily devotions. Now we're in Ecclesiastes. So those of you that want to read along, follow along, it's in Ecclesiastes 7, verses 1 through 12. A matter of perspective. A matter of perspective. And the Bible thought, sorrow is better than laughter, because a sad face is good for the heart. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of pleasure. Ecclesiastes 7, 3 and 4. Yeah. And we know that we know, hopefully everybody knows, maybe everybody knows, Ecclesiastes is written by Solomon. And here we go, okay? Chapter 7, verses 1 through 12. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of the fools is in the house of mirth. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. For as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. This is also vanity. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? For thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Practical wisdom right there. A lot of wisdom. And we know that the wisest man, wisest king, was King Solomon. He asked for wisdom, and God poured the wisdom out to him. I mean, Proverbs, it's kind of these devotions here in this devotion that we're going through, just jumped over Proverbs. But I tell you what, I encourage you to read Proverbs and Psalms, because I'm telling you, it does a lot of good for those that are seeking, good. A lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge to help us, with our everyday life, attitudes, so on. It covers it all. Matter of perspective. So it's the way you look at it, the way you perceive it. Okay, so here we go with the devotion. A young student had endured a frustrating school situation for several months. One afternoon, she and her family were talking about the difficulties the Israelites had in their 40-year wanderings. Her dad asked if she could relate to the story and what applications she might see to her difficulties. She responded, "Well, I'm ready to get through the wilderness to the promised land part. I think we can relate. I don't relish going through the wilderness, but as Solomon learned, wisdom often comes from heartache and life's difficulties." Yeah, we know that the children of Israel left the bondage and the slavery of Pharaoh and the Egyptians, when Moses was called to get God's people out of there. So he did. Well, they didn't just go straight from being in Egypt and bondage straight, over here to the promised land. No, they sure didn't. 40 years. 40-year wanderings. I forgot what it was, what somebody had talked about, where it said like just the distance. If they would have just walked from Egypt to the promised land, what they eventually got, the promised land, would it only took, a few weeks max, I think, or a few weeks or whatever. I think I'm right. It's been a long time since I remember somebody, talking about that. But why did God wander them around and around and over and around and wherever all for 40 years? Well, because, if you've read the story, they turned on God. When Moses went up Mount Sinai and spoke with God one-on-one with the burning bush, and got the 10 Commandments. Was up there for, I forgot how long he was up there, but the time frame that he was up there, the children of Israel, a lot of them down here at the bottom of the mountain, they done gave up. They done turned back to to worshiping idols. Took off all their gold that they had, melted it, and created a darn idol. Well, when Moses come down and then they seen that, he broke it says in the Bible, the tablets, the stone tablets were broke because he was angry at what he was seeing and hearing. And I do believe right then and there, God opened up the earth and swallowed those people up because of what they were doing. God was so angry at them people. He was just like, can't you see what I'm trying to do for you? Get you out of bondage, get you out of slavery, so you can live your life freely, happily, and and to thank me, praise me. No, they murmured and complained. Well, God had enough of it. So for 40 years, he wandered them around. Until what? Till all that generation that didn't get swallowed up in the hole, but to all that generation that did kind of just didn't have faith in him, he wandered them around till all of them died off before he gave them that promised land. I may have just been speaking too much and reading, or talking too much before I even read this devotion, but whatever, that first paragraph got me. Yes. And like this girl said, I think I can relate. I don't relish going through the wilderness, but as Solomon learned, wisdom often comes from heartache and life's difficulties. Yeah, do we like going through difficult things? Me and Cynthia, we've talked about it many times, of the difficulties in our life together. For 13 years we've been together, and for 13 years I can tell you that it's not been great. They've been a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties.
That's the truth.
And it would be safe to say now, right now, present day, 2024, looking back at the years of difficulties for me and Cynthia, they were not easy whatsoever. They were hard.
Very hard.
And yeah. But looking back now and where we're at and where we feel and how we approach things is totally different. Lessons learned.
Yes.
You know? Heartache and life's difficulties.
Yeah.
Here we're going to read on. Here it says, we just do not seem to learn or develop patience in a house of feasting as we do in a house of mourning. That's the truth. Think about that. We do not learn or develop patience in a house of feasting.
Right.
As we do in a house of mourning. Why? Because in a house of feasting, buddy, you got it all. Everything's there. You don't lack nothing.
Mm-mm.
Living it up. Loving life. Because why? You don't lack nothing. Washing machine broke. Don't worry, we get one ordered right now. Lowe's is bringing it today. Right? You don't fret for nothing.
Mm-mm.
You don't pray for nothing. You don't, oh my God, help me. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. But in a house of mourning, when your heart is mourning and you're crying and you've been through and you are in the pit of despair and you cannot find a peace nowhere. You know, though, you cry out to the one that can give you that. Yeah.
He's the only one
So
that can give peace.
that's right. And so we do learn and develop patience in that time, in that pit. Because what else you going to do? Well, I guess you could dadgum keep on kicking the ground and cursing God and cursing everybody, this, that, and the other. But what are you learning? Nothing. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Many times God develops our hearts as they turn to Him in sadness and difficult circumstances. We can focus on others who are suffering, and we are more open to His will for our lives. Solomon sought after and gained material riches and worldly power. And he was the richest man. He had everything. Solomon had singers and dancers for his singers and dancers, you know. I mean, he had all the riches that he wanted, everything. They failed to bring true contentment, though. Because what did Solomon say? I've said this a lot. Solomon said he found out that everything under the sun was vanity. That's all it is. It's vanity. And that's coming from the one that had it all. He figured it out, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
After he got it all. So, in an ever-changing world, look for the strength and peace God can bring through what we may see as a negative circumstance. So, this world is ever-changing. I would be safe to say that over the past 5 years that there have been so many major changes and attacks on mankind that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So we need let's all do this. Let's look for strength and peace God can bring through what we may see as a negative circumstance. So it's very easy to look and see and think, boy, oh my gosh. I mean, it's constantly you are seeing and hearing news of little children getting, mistreated and or a married couple or whatever, just terrible circumstances, terrible things happen, negative. But we can get that peace through God. And that can bring through what we may see as a negative circumstance. So there's a lot of negative circumstances, but God can give us peace through it. And He will. But we got to seek it. We got to want it.
I agree.
Yeah. So this is from wisdom. So we just do not seem to learn or develop patience in a house of feasting as we do in a house of mourning. It's well, like we've said, and it wasn't nice for me and Cynthia or anybody else that's ever went through anything in the house of mourning. When you wake up, you're sad, and when you go to bed, you're sad.
And I tell you.
But I tell you what, during that though, if you open up your heart and hang on to the one that can give us peace.
And get us through everything.
Yeah. And patience and contentment. And know that this too shall pass. It does pass. It don't seem like it, does it? It does not seem like it.
It seems like it's never going to be.
Right. And I think that's one of the reasons, well, that is the reason that I know Cynthia has always shared on the end of our videos to never give up. Why? Because she didn't. And she's trying to tell you to not give up.
That's right, you guys.
Because it is worth the fight. It is worth losing it all.
It is.
To gain
peace.
Yeah.
With God.
That's it. So as the rain picks up, we finished up, whatever, this is a little bit longer, and it's all right. Because you know what? It's all right.
It's okay. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Because when something's on you, you can't just close it.
Right.
The Word.
Yeah.
Because the Word is God's Word. And that's how He...
That's right.
Takes care of things.
Yeah. So guys, we're getting out of here. Hopefully y'all have an awesome Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow on another daily devotion. Thank y'all so much for your love, support, comments, and we just hope and pray that y'all have an awesome day wherever you're at. And know that if you're in that house of mourning, that God's going to pull you and get you through that. You know what I mean? And if you're in that house of feasting, and you know that things are whatever, then I don't know. All I can say is God is there. God's there in the feasting, and God's there in the morning. Let's just not forget about Him whenever it's feasting. And that's easily done. So, we're getting out of here. Peace out. Love you all. Yeah.
And I just, want to say that...
All right.
Please, don't never give up.
That's right.
Because you're so worth and you're so special. And you have a beautiful purpose.
That's right, everybody.
Never forget that.
That's right.
Never. I promise you, you do.
Yeah.
So that being said, you guys, have a good day. And always know that I love each and every one of you guys. And love you guys.
That's right, guys. Thank y'all.